now. And so, yeah, let's get started. So, yeah, if you have any questions throughout this, I'm kind of looking to the right because I've got another screen here. So if you have any questions, just ping them into the chat and I'm happy to go through anything, yeah, at the end. So it'll be about 15, 20 minutes long. And yeah, let's get into it. So what we'll be covering today is what has changed this year in digital marketing. So that would be around digital advertising and SEO. What we see working today for clients. I'll speak a bit about the work we do and how that could be of relevance to you. An introduction to Picnic Planning, which is our kind of internal agency model for building campaigns for clients. Some examples of how this works and 5 things you can do today to prepare for Q4. So a bit about me. So my name is Paul Hannigan. My background as a chef and then working with, opened my own catering company, working with the kind of fashion brands like Louis Vuitton, Christian Louboutin, brands like that. I ultimately opened quite a few businesses in food and away from food, from experiential marketing to e-commerce, and now Roku Agency. So Roku means 6 in Japanese, because we have 6 steps to our process, and we work with clients in the luxury and lifestyle space kind of all over the world, from Tokyo, Singapore, and yeah, London. So some of our clients that we've worked with, so we ran everything for Husky Chocolate and did the big launch with McLaren Racing. We built small beer companies, website and kind of comms, as well as bigger brands such as Godiva and Ferrero Rocher on the right there. So let's get into it. So what has changed this year? So you've probably seen there's been constant updates from an Apple point of view around privacy, which has massively affected digital marketing and advertising, especially on platforms like Meta, not so much on things like TikTok. So Meta is Facebook and Instagram. So if I say Facebook, I also mean Instagram. If I say Meta, I mean all of them as well. You may or may not have heard that, or just on that iOS side of things. So that's affecting conversion campaigns, which is where you run an ad asking for someone to buy your product, a purchase objective. So we've had to change our strategies around how we go after those sales for clients. Now we're going to briefly go over it in this presentation, but we'll be really getting into the meat of it in the second and third version of this. This is kind of an overview of what we're seeing, and then we're actually going to get our hands dirty and build some of these campaigns in the next 2 webinars. So preparing for a cookieless world. So you may have seen that Google Analytics has changed to GA4. So they're going to eventually ban cookies, which are the tracking codes on Google platforms, which is going to have, I think, a catastrophic effect for small businesses. Because ultimately that's how you gather data and you use that data to model the type of customers that you want to put your ads in front of. There's less engagement in general across creatives, across ads, and across different platforms. So you need to really think about your creative, which is your imagery and your videos, and then new styles of content consumption. So we've seen new kind of social media platforms with Threads, which is a Meta platform, which you can't advertise on yet, but you should be able to by Q4. And then also older school kind of platforms like Facebook Reels being incredibly cheap. But that's a different style of content to the usual ads you would run. So you need to think about that when you're briefing your creative agency who are doing your videos, or your photographers, or anything like that. And ultimately, smash and grab advertising doesn't work. And what I mean by that is every year, and it'll happen this year, we get brands coming into Q4, maybe late September, October, going, oh, we want to run this campaign, but they actually haven't done the groundwork to build the audiences, to nurture those audiences. And ultimately, they're going into a market that's highly competitive without doing the background. So for your Q4 campaigns to be very, very successful, you need to start in August, realistically. And that sounds crazy, but there's a reason why. We'll go through that when we go through the picnic plan. So what does work? So firstly, looking at your product. So making sure that you're putting your product in front of the right customer. So is it the right product for the people that you're speaking to, and are you positioning that in the right way? Who are your audience? So if you take a brand like Lululemon, for example, they're maybe yoga would be a really good one for them, but also people actually like the brand for how it feels, and from a kind of commercial point of view as well. So they have two different audience segments there. So you need to be changing your communications for each one of those audiences. What's your creative, and what works? Is that video? Is it user-generated content where people are unboxing or putting on your dress or whatever that might be? What's working for you? And ultimately, you have to test that to find out. And then the most important of the four is the offer. So is what you're offering in line with what your audience want? And that doesn't mean that you need to discount it, but it means that you need to make sure that if the offer is wrong, all of this will fail. So you need to test your offers before Q4, because once you get into Q4, you're in sales mode, not tested mode. So we test offers in various different ways on the build up to Q4. So how do you prepare now? So firstly, make sure your site is optimized. An awful lot of lifestyle and luxury brands have very slow sites. So that means if you're going to run ads, and speaking specifically from an digital advertising point of view, because ultimately that's what will really affect Christmas. If your site is slow, your ads will fail, because you're trying to take people off Facebook and Instagram onto your site. If there's a big drop off in site speed, people will drop off your ads, and you'll get penalized with really expensive costs. Look at your offers and create offers that people want. Take customers offline ASAP. And what I mean by that is get their emails, because if you own the email, people rarely change their email, and you're able to build a rapport with them much easier and much cheaper than trying to run ads to them. Really spend time looking at Payco, your product, audience, creative, and offer. That takes quite a bit of time, and we usually, when we're working with clients, they haven't really gone into exactly what problem they're solving for those customers, and that's what Payco helps sort out. And then implement our Picnic process. So Picnic is an acronym. It's just what we use internally to take a helicopter view of everything that's happened in a business and how that can work for a brand, and that they're not kind of losing anything that could be low-hanging fruit for them. So it stands for prospect, so casting the net wide, building interest, building conversations, nurturing those conversations, incentivizing them, and converting them. So looking at prospects, so what we would do with this is we have a specific way we do this on Meta and on Google, where we basically don't look for the sale first. What we're trying to do is build awareness of the brand and ultimately audiences. And I'll go through that in a little bit more detail when I show you an example. Then we build interest and conversations. So conversations might be your story, your reason for existing, why staff work for you, the values that you hold, different things like that. And then you nurture them. So this is where we start to take people off Facebook and Instagram. So it's either at this step or slightly before. And then we ask for their email address, and we usually offer them something in return. Could be a discount, or it could be like an entry to a competition, which again, we're going to go through. And then we incentivize them, give them a reason to buy, and then convert them. And then it's rinse and repeat, because once you have these customers, you're able to continue those conversations and then nurture, incentivize them, and convert them again. So how can you implement this? Because although this sounds very, very simple, there's a lot of complexity to this. So for crafting your Picnic funnel, what we would say is firstly, decide on what your strategy is going to be and your tactics. So is it going to be Google ads? Is it going to be Facebook ads? Is it going to be YouTube? And then you set objectives and key results around that. So our objective by the end of September is to have X amount of videos live, or to run X amount of competitions. That way you're building your audience. Engage all the teams in this. So again, we do this internally. We have copywriters, strategists in the agency, as well as myself involved in this process, because everyone brings a different kind of level of understanding to and experience to the process. Decide on your spend and stick to it. So coming into Christmas, again, going back to the kind of smash and grab approach, we see people kind of start to spend really big at the start and then panic when they should have been spending maybe smaller from September to build up those audiences, and then accelerating that through to the end of Q4, and focus on top quality funnel traffic. So a lot of people will go for cheaper leads as opposed to like going after people who really are so sub segments are more expensive than others. But if the quality of the traffic at the top of funnel is good, then ultimately you're going to make more sales. And then we use some systems to kind of track this and make sure that we're delivering this. So Monday.com, Slack, and then Canva for your creative, and making sure that there's a kind of collaborative approach and everyone knows what's happening. There's also another little hack that you can actually implement today as well. So you can actually use Facebook to do a lot more than just posting pretty pictures and videos and advertising. You can use it to find interests, but you can also find out what your competitors are doing. So we've just launched our YouTube video today, and we'll be our YouTube channel, sorry, and later on today there'll be me going through and finding all the ads that a competitor of a beer brand in this instance of what they're running. You're actually able to see their creative, how they've kind of crafted their approach, and you're able to reverse engineer that and see what they're doing, test similar angles and see if it works for your audience. And then we use it for testing all of the different parts of the picnic plan. So we'll test images as opposed to videos, we'll test messaging and offers, and we do that through Ads Manager, not boosted posts. So this is an example. This doesn't have to cost a lot of money to do, especially with how we recommend you do it. With oh, I think somebody needs to mute themselves there. Some humming. So yeah, this was a luxury boutique in Chelsea. So their budget was about $1,000 a month, and we implemented this picnic plan for them. So at the top, they had what's called a cascade funnel. And this is what I said I'd go through. So a cascade funnel is basically where you're keeping people on Facebook to build the audiences. So in this instance, they had about a 2-minute long ad, which was a video. And what it basically showed off the whole values of the brand, why they existed, their beautiful collection. We ran that video as a video views campaign, not a conversion or purchase campaign. And we ran it for a good while, maybe a couple of months until, a couple of weeks, until there was a good amount of people who had watched 50% of that video. Then we served them another video to build interest in the brand. And then we also had boosted posts, which is slightly different. Boosted posts is really good for local bricks and mortar businesses. So that was just to promote awareness of the brand. It was in Kings Road in London to the local audience. Then into the conversation, so introducing the team, the different designers that they were working with, and then nurturing its different styles of the week, just different kind of fun posts, and then incentivizing them with great offers, and then a conversion campaign at the bottom of the funnel, which is asking for the sale. Then we just rinse and repeat that to incentivize past customers. So this is a lead generation funnel. So this was for a cosmetic clinic in London. So they had a bigger budget of about £3,000 a month. So again, we used a similar approach when we decided on their picnic plan. Top of funnel was awareness about the brand, about why they existed, and how they could basically make their customers' lives better. And we ran this at about £50 a day. So that built up the audience very, very quick. Then to build interest, we actually ran a competition to that audience. So UpViral is a software we use, and basically allows us to run competitions. So they gave away free treatments, consultations, and some cosmetic products in exchange for entry into the competition. And this was massively successful for them, because not only did they get the emails, because that's the price of entry is email, and then they shared on Facebook and socials. It went viral for them because people were sharing it to try to get entry into the competition. but they also saw their bookings go up massively in the clinic. And then conversations, so meet the team, the different techniques they use, again, just kind of tweaking that, keeping that moving along. Christmas bookings, so they had a specific offer on the run up to Christmas, and we're just constant kind of contact that was evergreen as well. And then we incentivize them to book, which is ultimately a lead campaign. We incentivize them to book a treatment, and then that was the conversion, and then we just kind of rinsed and repeated that. So what are 5 things you could do today to impact your business? So firstly is make sure a pixel is installed on your site. So if you talk to your web developer, your marketing agency, or your team, hopefully they know what a pixel is, but basically it's a little bit of code that's installed on your website from Facebook. And over a 28-day period, it will track about 3,000 data points for every person who visits your site. If you don't know how to install one, there's going to be subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can just do that through our website, which is in the chat. And I'll be uploading a video probably tomorrow about how you can install one on your site, or just ask us to do it. We can maybe hop in and do it for free. But that will gather your data. So there's actually huge value in anyone who comes to your site, because you're able to build an audience of website views, which would be hugely, hugely beneficial for you. So you can book a free audit with us, absolutely no obligation. So we'll hop on, look at your site, look at what you can do from an SEO standpoint, from a digital marketing standpoint, to get ready for Q4. So there's actually in the chat, there's a Calendly link. Feel free to book a time that suits you. And yeah, happy to go through, no obligation, just value on how this, you can start to get ready, because ultimately very, very few, instigating very few changes can make a massive impact later on down the line. So run a speed test on your site. So again, coming back to site speed and setup, if you use free site gtmetrics.com, just pop in your URL and it'll give you a score. If you're running ads, your score needs to be, it's between A and F, and it needs to be an A or a B. If not, you need to talk to a developer or someone on Upwork to help you get that speed up, because you'll just be paying money for something that won't work when it comes to ads. So if you don't have Search Console, we haven't spoken about SEO here at all. This is more about an ad strategy, because that's what Q4 is about. But if you haven't set up a Search Console, it's a free thing on Facebook, on Google. Just Google Search Console and you'll be able to set it up for your site. What that does is it tracks the organic results for your site. So you're actually able to see what keywords you're showing up for. Again, subscribe to our YouTube channel. There'll be a video on that on Monday where I go through how we used our agency as an example. We were 500th in the country for digital marketing agency. London, we're now 20 in about 2-3 months. So you imagine what effect that has on leads coming in, and also our authority when it comes to running ads. And then again, have a look at the YouTube channel later today about what ads your competitors are running. Subscribe to that and you'll be able to see and go and investigate what ads your competitors are running, and be able to keep an eye on them and reverse engineer their sales funnel. And yeah, a little bit about us. So we are Roku Agency. So we're a team of highly trained digital marketing specialists. We use a systemized approach and a lot of AI. And we have a plan called the Nomad Plan, which is a nimble outsource marketing and advertising department. And we basically do all of this on the screen. We're your digital marketing team, basically completely outsourced. So if you're interested in looking for an agency or to talk and see if we're a good fit, again, feel free to book a call in the link. And that is it from me. So if you have any questions, I know we have a few that have been kind of sent over before. Yeah, please feel free. I'll open up the floor, unmute yourself, and feel free to ask any questions.
Hi, this is it's a lifestyle brand, and I have block print products from India. I would love to book a call with you that you offer, but I don't see a link. If you can pop that on.
Yeah, it's in the chat. Let me see.
I am in the chat, but I don't see anything.
Yeah, let's see. Okay. Anything coming up there? Does anyone else see?
Yeah, got it.
Perfect.
Got it. Thank you.
No worries at all. Yeah, any questions on digital marketing or ads that anyone wants to ask? If not, I'll run through some that were sent over before the call from people who couldn't make it. Yeah, so we have one here. What's the difference between boosted posts and Facebook ads? Which is better? So boosted Facebook ads have a lot more control in terms of how you're able to see what works from a creator point of view. A boosted post, you boost that, you create a post and you put money behind that post, but you have no idea whether your customers are engaging in that or if that's a good thing to do. Whereas in Ads Manager, if you're building Facebook ads, you're able to make one campaign targeting one audience and have 5 different or more, like I think it's up to 50, but we wouldn't do more than 5 different tests, whether that's creative, whether that's imagery, videos, whatever that might be. So yeah, you're definitely able to do a lot more in Facebook ads. The trade-off is it's much more complex to run, and you need to have a good understanding of it. And again, subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're giving everything, all of that for free, like away, so people are able to kind of understand how to do this from start to finish. What ad spend would you recommend of Facebook to really make a difference for me? Again, that's kind of how long's a piece of string. Like in terms of setting up cascade ads, you can do that with £5 a day and start building those audiences out. Because the thing is, the algorithm will learn and your pixel will learn and Facebook will learn, especially because you're keeping people on Facebook on who's interacting with your product. So it'll continually get better. And then all of a sudden, with £5 a day, you run that for a month, you're going to have probably 10,000 people who have watched some element of your video, and probably a couple of thousand that have watched over half. So that's like quite a big audience for 150 quid. So yeah, I would say, like, really, if you're launching a Facebook funnel, you need at least £300, but you wouldn't be running purchase ads on that. It would just be to build up the audiences. Should I invest more in paid advertising or in organic efforts? Again, it depends on your industry, but I would, like what we do in Nomad, is focus on the website, because if we get the SEO right, the ads are way cheaper. So when we kind of pivoted over for our other brand into Roku, we invested very heavily in search engine optimization, which is obviously, we do that as an agency, so it's easy for us. But now we're getting 2 or 3 leads a week from showing up for that one keyword within 3 months. So, and then when we go to run Google ads, we're much more relevant to Google because Google understands what we're about. So our ad costs are way cheaper. So I'd always say SEO, like thinking the long game. A lot of people come to us and they want tactical results. And what I mean by that is they want sales now from Facebook ads, but yet the foundations aren't there. And we have to kind of push them back and go, listen, we need to sort this out. And this is going to be a little bit of a painful process, but it comes down to our kind of core values of integrity and Kaizen, like constant growth, because ultimately that will continue to work for them for years, potentially decades, once your SEO is on point. How complicated is it setting up a pixel? Yeah, it is complicated. There's no 2 ways about it, but yeah, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, we'll be going through it there. Are there any affordable email marketing platforms? Yeah, so we use MailerLite, which I absolutely love. So let's see. It was this one here. Oh, I think I went past it. Yeah, I've this one here, MailerLite. A lot of people use Klaviyo. I don't like it personally. I find it really difficult to use, really expensive. MailerLite is like £7 a month, and it integrates into Facebook. Or sorry, it does integrate into Facebook, but into WordPress, into Shopify. Huge amount of, and it's so easy to use. Like literally, we have members of staff who just started off who were able to navigate their way around it. So strongly recommend. I'm not affiliated to them at all. It's just the best I've seen. Are there free resources or guides to learn about SEO? Yeah, hop onto YouTube, subscribe to our channel, because we'll be going through and doing it in quite a simplified way, because you can get very in-depth with SEO, but it's kind of Pareto principle applies. So like certain things will make much more of an impact than other things, like fixing the titles of your site. So if we like go to our site, rokuagency.com, you'll see at the top, that's a H1 tag, and that's like, it will say lifestyle agency, because people will Google lifestyle agency. And we've done the research behind that and put that in front of Google, so it's relevant. So there's certain things that you can do that are much more impactful than others. I'm a bit confused regarding types of SEO, local SEO, offsite SEO, technical SEO, which is the most important. Again, very, very difficult. If you're a bricks and mortar business, local SEO, I would say, because you're showing up for those key terms that people are looking for. So if you've got a bricks and mortar one, and there's a great software called Localo, which again, we go through on the YouTube videos, but it's £25 a month that you could kind of look at. But you do need to have an understanding of all of them and how they interact with each other. Like content is very, very hard to beat. Like good blogs, good, well kind of researched content that ultimately answers people's questions is important too. What would suit me better, Google ads or Facebook ads? No idea. I have no context of what your brand is, but book in a call and we'd see. It generally, like, Facebook ads work quite well for very aesthetic products. Google ads more for search intent. But yeah, ultimately, like that's super difficult for me to say without a context. Great. There's the submitted questions. Does anyone have any other questions that popped up while I was going through that? If so, just feel free to unmute yourself or pop it into the group chat. No, all good. Excellent. Well, in that case, I'll wrap up for today. If you have any questions that pop into mind, our emails at the bottom, hello@rokuagency.com. If you're interested in getting a free audit of your site and seeing what you can do, it'll be recorded so you can give it to your developer, your team to implement. Just book a call through that Calendly link. You can do it on our website too. And if you're starting to develop that strategy, I look forward to kind of talking to you on the next call. Feel free to kind of bring it. We'll be doing another call in, I believe, a couple of weeks' time, which will get into actually how we build these out and the kind of the nitty-gritty of doing these campaigns. But yeah, thank you very much.